Okay, hello friends. In this classroom of physiology, we will be discussing the arterial pulse. We have finished in the last videos the factors regulating the heart rate and everything. So before watching this video, you have to watch that video to understand this topic. If I talk about arterial pulse, basically arterial pulse is basically defined as rhythmic expansion. It's defined as rhythmic expansion of arterial wall of the arterial wall. Okay, why rhythmic expansion of arterial wall is happening? It's because of some pressure waves are being transmitted to these walls, isn't it? Pressure waves are being conveyed to these walls. That's why they are showing us a rhythmic expansion. So we are talking about this pulse. So for example, you are taking your radial artery. Okay, your radial artery at the radial side of your forearm. So when you are seeing it, you see some pulsations. Can you do it for me? I will teach you how to take a pulse in physiology practical class, but just haphazardly put your finger on this. Okay. So you hyperextend. If you extend your wrist, so you can you see the pulse? Can you see every time a tip is coming? This is a rhythmic manner. This is basically what is happening. If this is the artery, if this is the artery, once a pressure wave is coming with the blood, a pressure wave is coming, it is hitting these walls. It's hitting these walls. With each systole, with each heart contraction, you can hear this. You cannot hear means, yeah, you can hear also, but you can palpate it. You can palpate it. Okay. Basically, we take radial pulse. We are taking radial pulse so that we can assess the arterial pulse. To assess the arterial pulse. Okay. Now, once you will be in the hospital in your clinical no rotation, what they will do is they will tell you to check the patient for vitals, vital signs. They will tell you to check the patient for vital signs. Okay. So vital signs, what are vital signs? Vital signs are blood pressure, respiratory rate or respiration, and temperature. These are the vitals. Okay. BP, respiration, and temperature. Okay. So if I am checking this radial pulse, can I say that I am actually evaluating the functioning of the heart? If I am checking the pulse, is it telling me about the heart? Yes, sir, it is telling me about the heart. Is it telling me about the hemodynamics? For example, the BP. Is it telling me about the blood vessel status? Means how is the blood vessel? For example, I have some diseases in which I have calcification of blood vessels. Can I palpate? If I have calcium deposition on the walls of the artery, can I palpate? No, it's hard. Normally, your muscles have your radial not your arteries. They are having muscular layer. That's why it is making the vessel compliant. It is making that vessel compliant. For how much pressure you put, it will be compliant. Okay, so it's important. So what is the normal pulse rate? Normal pulse rate is 60 to 100 bpm. 60 to 100 bpm, guys. 60 to 100 bpm. Okay. uh, and if there is if we want to know there is a term that is called pulse deficit. Pulse deficit means the deficit, the remaining thing between the pulse rate and the heart rate. The remaining thing between the pulse rate and the heart rate will be called pulse deficit. Pulse deficit. Okay. Okay, guys. So if you see a recording of the pulse, arterial pulse, if you trace that pulse, we record it like this. If I will show you, I will make you understand from a graph. So it's like this one went very, very much high. Let us make this. So if I start like this, so if I take this T, it's called P. If I take this N, D. So during systole, please have a look here. During systole, this is the systole period. Okay, systole. During this is the systole, and this is the diastole. Okay, this whole is the diastole, by the way. So diastole. Okay, this T is called tidal wave. This T is called tidal wave. Tidal wave, or also called percussion wave. Percussion wave. Okay, N is called dicrotic notch. N is called dicrotic notch. D is called dicrotic wave. D is called dicrotic wave. So this is the tidal wave or percussion wave. This is the dicrotic notch. This is the dicrotic wave. This is the dicrotic wave. Can you see D? This is the notch. Okay. This is the notch. Is the screen clear? Okay. See, once your heart rate is normally happening, just have a look at me. Once your heart rate is normally happening, should it coincide? Should it be exactly equal to the pulse rate? The rate at which the heart is beating, should your pulse rate be also the same or not? Should there be a synchrony? Exactly, there should be a synchrony. But once you are going into tachycardic state, once your pulse rate is becoming greater than 100, that is tachycardia, or that will be definitely having that effect. Okay, so I will give you a simple example. Do we remember that filling concept, that at one point cardiac output will be correspondingly increasing with the stroke volume will be that, but once the heart rate is increasing more, what will happen? Stroke volume will get less because you are decreasing the diastolic filling time, because you are making the heart beat more. Okay, so what is this pulse deficit? What is this pulse deficit? Okay, see, you are normal, you should not have a pulse deficit. That's how I can make you understand. You should, if you are a normal, you don't have pulse deficit. Normally you should not have pulse deficit. Okay, now if I have a pulse deficit, if I talk about this pulse deficit, let us understand it. Pulse deficit means if I have a cardiac arrhythmia. Cardiac arrhythmia means my heart is not rhythmically contracting. It is not contracting in a rhythm. Ideally, you should have systole, diastole nicely happening. But suddenly an ectopic beat comes, suddenly from anywhere due to any disease we'll be learning in arrhythmias. Suddenly an impulse came from any other myocardial cell. Or either any, an impulse got generated, other than the SA node. SA node should generate the impulse, but some atrial tissue suddenly fired impulses. So that is leading to the arrhythmia. Okay. Or I have a disease in which I have an organic heart disease. I have an organic heart disease. Organic heart disease. Okay. So these two conditions will get a deficit. You will get a deficit. The deficit will be the rate at which your heart is contracting and the pulse rate. So which arrhythmia will be showing a deficit? Can you understand a deficit? You know that lag is there. There is a lag. Can we understand this deficit word? So there is a lag between heart rate and so that is atrial fibrillation. Atrial fibrillation. We call it in short AFib. Okay, so atrial fibrillation, we have pulse deficit greater than 10. We have pulse deficit greater than 10. Or can you, sir, can you tell us in which it is less than 10? That's the way we can remember. Less than 10 is seen in heart blocks. I'll be telling you this in the arrhythmias. I will teaching you the conduction system. Don't worry. Okay. So what is the meaning of this percussion wave? I want to go back here. What is the meaning of this percussion wave? If I take them, now if I write directly at this point, percussion wave is ventricular systole. So once your ventricle has gone into systole, that is generating this percussion wave. Can we see the percussion wave? This. Can we see this wave, guys? This is because of ventricular systole. That is ejection of blood is happening. That is ejection of blood. That is ejection of blood is happening. Ejection of blood is happening. Sir, what about the dicrotic wave? Dicrotic wave means, you know, you have contracted. So definitely we have contracted. Now we are going into the diastolic phase. And at the diastolic phase, aortic valve will be dash. Aortic valve will become dash during diastole. Ventricular diastole, aortic valve will become dash. Beautiful answer. So once you close this valve, if I am taking this valve, so this is your left ventricle. So I have closed this valve. Suddenly, if you close this valve, will you give a rebound to the blood? Will that blood get rebound force? Once you are closing something, it will just eject it. Once you were here, you will now come here suddenly. The reason for dicrotic wave is because of the rebound of blood, rebound of blood, what to write? Rebound of blood against the closed, the word is closed aortic valve during dash phase. We are talking about dash phase. We are talking about dash phase. Sir, common sense is also there. If you were at systole at this point, you should be at diastole at this point, ventricular diastole. So what about the notch? Can I say that after it, this point was the point where the aortic valve closed because after that rebound happened? Because after that rebound happened, guys. Can we see if I close the valve at this point, I will have a rebound of blood. I think people are sleeping. So can I say dicrotic notch N is the point where aortic valve is closing? Aortic valve closed, you will have a sudden rebound of blood. So this is the aortic valve. So look at me, because we are more concerned about learning. If I say P wave, you have to say only one name. P wave on pulse tracing. P wave pulse tracing is dash. P wave on pulse tracing is dash without looking at the copy. It is ventricular systole ejection. It is ejection phase of ventricular systole. If I say after that, what should come? What should come? Dicrotic notch. Dicrotic notch. Dicrotic notch. It tells us that aortic valve is closing. After that should come what? Dicrotic wave. That means aortic valve has closed and blood has rebounded. The significance of this wave is rebound. See, can you see rebound has happened, my dears? Are we able to understand? Is there any doubt in this? Can you now make easy? See, you understood. That's why I did not starting. No, there is a way of learning this cardiovascular. Some start with this. I better try to start with this thing because you can understand it much better. Now the graphs become, a cup of cake for piece of cake for you. Okay, this is done. Now, if I say what to say? Let's go to the abnormal pulses. What is an abnormal pulse? Okay, let us tell you some abnormal pulses so that this chapter finishes with this. Abnormal. Just take a different pen. Abnormal pulses. Basically, it was this color, red color. I was having on a textbook. That whole textbook in my school days. That was filled with very nice colored. It was not basically. It was a nice electromicrograph. A very delicate microscope photo of the RBCs, and that's what I loved biology from that day. By the way, so I believe that colors also make you understand things. So that's the basic application of changing the colors. There is a way, so please keep changing the colors during the notes. Okay, that will remain with you for whole life. If you do this, it will remain with you for whole life. You can understand it much better. Okay, don't make your notes black and white. The life will become black and white actually. So this is abnormal pulses. Abnormal pulses means pulse is not normal. Okay, so that means, is should there be an abnormality? Not really, not actually. That there will be an abnormality. Okay, so I will say like this. If you say I have a normal pulse, we'll be discussing this pulse in more detail in your medicine. But pulse, if I say the pulse is normal, I should say like this. Actually, I was in something, thinking something. So please listen this again. Listen this again. If I say pulse is normal, it means there should not be any abnormality. We will say the pulse is normal when no abnormality. When no abnormality. Okay. Now that means now I should tell you some abnormalities which are causing the pulse. So what are the abnormal pulses? Abnormal pulse. Abnormal pulse. Number one. No, medicine part I will be teaching this in more detail. Just now you need a correlation with it. You don't have to discuss in detail. You are at physiology level first year. That's why I'm taking it in physiology. Abnormal pulses first will be anacrotic pulse. Anacrotic pulse. Second type of abnormality is dicrotic pulse. Dicrotic pulse. Third type of abnormality is water hammer pulse. Water hammer. Okay. Next type of abnormality is pulses bisferens. Pulses bisferens. Next type of pulse is pulsus paradoxus. Pulsus paradoxus. Next type of pulse is pulsus alterans. Pulsus alterans. Pulsus alterans. So just we will teach these things, okay? So these you have to learn. It's so easy to remember if you give your whole focus on me. Then it will become easy. Otherwise, you will forget it. Okay. Let me first take this anacrotic pulse. Okay. Anacrotic pulse, anacrotic pulse is also known as anadicrotic pulse. Anadicrotic pulse. Okay. What is di? Di means two. Di means two. That means will you have a secondary wave coming in this pulse? Will you get a second wave, second upstroke? So you will get a second upstroke. Okay. You will get a second upstroke. Fine. So can I say like this? Can I say like this? Where is that wave? Yeah. Can I say like this? One. Let us build like this. Let us make concept. Can I make like anacrotic pulse like this? Small wave I will take. Okay. This was the first, and now I have another this, and now that normal comes back. Can I say it is a anadicrotic pulse? Can I say it is an anacrotic pulse? Is it difficult? See, first we understood the basic, then you will understand the abnormality. Then no, you have to keep this in your brain. T and D. T and D should be remembered first. You should have that. Clear? Okay, very nice. You have understood this. Now let us, in which case will you see this? Anacrotic pulse is seen in heart valve disease known as aortic stenosis. Aortic stenosis. Definitely, sir, this should happen. Aorta is stenosed. So upstroke will be slow. And also sloping will also become slow. Sloping is there also, isn't it? If you have a narrow area leaving that blood, you have a narrowing of the area. Definitely you will have two rebounds. Clear? So this is seen in aortic stenosis. This is what you have to understand. Okay. We'll be learning more about this in you'll be learning more about this in medicine and pathology. Okay. Let us go to dicrotic pulse. Dicrotic means two. Again two, sir, but which two? Dicrotic means, so what will you write here? Dicrotic, you will write secondary wave is present. Secondary wave present. What will you write in dicrotic pulse? Dicrotic pulse you will write twice beating pulse. I will listen this tomorrow orally. Today I did not, I forgot to ask you, but tomorrow definitely. Twice beating pulse. Twice beating pulse is dicrotic pulse. That means dicrotic wave is prominent. Dicrotic wave will become prominent, isn't it? Dicrotic wave. So which do you think will become prominent? T, N or D? He is saying dicrotic wave becomes prominent. Wave. So what do you think? Which should become prominent? Beautiful answer. D should become prominent. So see, see, everything is working on concept. Nicely, beautifully answering. Can we draw like this? Can I say like this? Make an M. Can we make equal M equal M? Is it at equal side? Is it at equal side, guys? M. Can we see this original graph? It was down. The M's another shoulder was down. It was hit. But here, shoulder is prominent. That's why dicrotic. Are we clear, friends? Yeah. Can we say it is telling us a false two beats? Who was giving you the beats? T, N or D? Who was giving you a beat? Who was giving you a nice beat? True beat, true. T, N or D? Beautiful answer, sir. Because this is a ventricular systole. So that means, will this give you false beat? Will this give you a feeling of two beats? Feeling of two beats. See, I hope it's striking your brain. It's bringing an impact on your brain. You can think. You can think. You can think without my hands, without my face. Simply, I am bringing your brain towards this. You can understand. That's what we need. We want understanding, not whatever source you take. We want your understanding. So whatever you do to this column, you will be recording the same thing. So if you are at a higher level, so you will be, if you are pumping the blood to the higher level, I pumped this blood. I am pumping the ventricular chamber. I pumped, I did a ventricular systole. What will happen? This column will go up. That's why the graph is also coming up. But now what is happening in the aortic stenosis? The space is so much narrow that the blood is not able to exit. So you have a sudden another this, and then again up normal D, because T and an additional wave came. So this is happening in anacrotic pulse, anadicrotic or anacrotic pulse. The name is confusing you. Okay, just remember it's two names, anacrotic and anadicrotic. Dicrotic means you have a two beat feeling because you feel the pulse. So you have a two beat feeling. I call it M pattern of pulse. Okay, so where is that? Yeah, so this is the typhoid, guys. Typhoid fever. Typhoid fever. Let me tell you about Waterhammer pulse. Waterhammer pulse is also called collapsing pulse. Collapsing pulse, or it is also called Corrigan pulse. Which condition will you see this? Aortic regurgitation. Please write aortic regurgitation. Aortic regurgitation. Okay. Now I will tell you what is happening. If this is your valve, if I take aorta, so I have to take aorta. So let me take aorta. So this is the ventricle. This is the left ventricle. This is the aorta. Aorta is having valve. Again, we will draw the valve. They should normally close. When you are doing a ventricular diastole, you are doing ventricular diastole. What should happen? What you want to do in diastole? You want to fill it from the left atrium. You want to fill your left ventricle from the left atrium. Left ventricular filling should happen. Do you want the blood from the aorta to come in the early diastole? No, sir. That is a problem. It should not come. It should close. The valve should be nice to close. It should not allow the blood to come back. This, if it is coming back due to any valvular disease, incompetency, any reason the valve is there, the problem is there, what will happen? Let us delete this. Let us write like this. So what will happen if it's not closing? What will happen? Regurgitation will happen. The blood will come back during the ventricular diastole. Please remember, the ventricular diastole blood should not come from the aorta. Blood should come from the left atrium only through the mitral valve. But you are having a regurgitation. So what will happen? Blood will start flowing into the ventricle. Should it flow into the ventricle during diastole? No, sir. Aorta to ventricle, no. But atrium to ventricle, yes. So now what will happen? There is a collapsing. That's why we say collapsing pulse, isn't it? The blood which should ideally reach the aorta is not reaching. That means it is on the midway coming back. That means it is collapsing. So that is what is collapsing. If they ask you what is collapsing, the meaning of collapsing, the collapsing means I have a rapid, please write the meaning of collapsing pulse. I have a rapid upstroke, or I can say ascent also. Can I say ascent? And I have a rapid downstroke. Rapid downstroke. Can I say descent? Rapid ascent, rapid descent. Rapid ascent, rapid descent will be seen in pulse wave. So what is rapid ascent, rapid descent? I will tell you what is rapid ascent, rapid descent. Rapid ascent, rapid descent, that is right like this. So rapid ascent so easy to make. A for apple. See, rapid ascent. Rapidly it came down. It reached at this point. Suddenly the collapse happened. Suddenly the pulse collapsed. First it tried to go into the aorta, but a whistleblower came at the back. He said, I will come back to the ventricle. What happened? The pulse decreased again. Are we able to understand, guys, the rapid ascent? This is all study will be learning in the pathology also more accurately. Okay, I will connect the that thing. So just it's easy, I think, to remember like this. So you have rapid ascent, then you have a rapid descent. It is seen in aortic regurgitation. So can we learn it like this? Aortic regurgitation, we have what? Aortic regurgitation, we have a sort of a like no, but in stenosis, yes, exactly. Yes, there is having a slow rise and sloping is happening. Exactly. That's what you have understood. Beautiful. Anacrotic, you are having a, can you see? Yeah. Can we see M difference? This is what your visualization should be. Can you see here the pointedness? Can you compare them? See, I will make an M again. Can you see the difference? Can we see the difference? How slowly I am going? I hope you have understood this. Okay. Very nice. Sir, why rapid upstroke happened? Because stroke volume increased suddenly. And rapid descent happens because pulse collapsed in midway. He was going for some job, but suddenly he came back. Okay. So if they ask you why collapse happens, two reasons for collapse. One reason, diastolic blood ran off into the left ventricle. The diastolic blood ran off. I told you the reason already. Diastolic blood run off. You can write. Okay. Another reason we can write is rapid runoff into the periphery because your vascular resistance has decreased. In the regurgitation. So rapid runoff into periphery. Are we clear? Because see, regurgitation and there is a different meaning of regurgitation and stenosis. Stenosis means that regurgitation means competency is not there. The valve is not becoming that competent to restrain the blood to go back. Okay. So what will happen to the pulse pressure? What do you think will happen to the pulse pressure? Will it be high, very high, or low? Pulse pressure will be very high. It has been seen around 100 mmHg. Very high pulse pressure. What is pulse pressure? Difference between systolic and diastolic. I hope you now remember diastolic BP. And if you are decreasing one, you will be having more pulse pressure. What was the normal pulse pressure? 40 mmHg. 40 mmHg was the normal pulse pressure. But you will be having a very high. I hope you are understanding. What is a collapsing pulse? Steep rising, forceful, high amplitude percussion wave. Okay. Now let me write more about this Water-Hamel pulse so that you can understand better. Let us go more downstairs. So let us write something more about the Water-Hamel pulse. Water-Hamel pulse, you had a steep rise. Did you see the steep rise? Steep rise of ascending limb. Can I say ascending limb? It has an ascending limb at a descending limb. Let's wait, I will tell you. Does it have a ascending limb and a descending limb? Yes. So steep rise of ascending limb is happening. This I'm talking about this. Please let me shade it. This much. Okay. This is happening because see what is happening. Are we adding the more amounts of blood when you have this? Let me make a valve for you. If you have an incompetent valve, so during the diastole, will some amount of blood come back in the ventricle? Ideally the ventricle, this valve should close. Ideally this valve should close like this, but it's not able to close. So will it add more blood? If blood is entering the from the left atrium, okay, this is the left atrium, this hole is the left atrium. So this, think that aorta is no above it like that, okay? Or if I draw it like this, this is the left ventricle and this is the aorta. You had a narrowing, what will, sorry, you had a regurgitation of blood. So what will happen? The valve is coming back. What can be the reasons for regurgitation, by the way? Valve incompetence, you can say. Aortic incompetence, isn't it? Aorta is incompetent. Or there can be other reasons also. Patent ductus arteriosus, ventricular septal defect, thyrotoxicosis, isn't it? They are the hyperkinetic circulatory states. Okay, that will be learning in pathology. What is happening that ideally in the ventricular systole, you should be ejecting the blood in the aorta, but what is happening that during the diastole, since regurgitation, this valve is not competent, it is allowing some blood which was above, which was leaving the aorta to come back into the ventricles. So it is adding to the end diastolic volume. So left ventricular and diastolic volume will start increasing, because during diastole you are increasing the filling. So filling is happening from the left atrium also, and filling is also happening from the aorta, because blood is regurgitating back. So this incompetent aortic valve is not able to stop that column coming back during the diastole. You will only understand the today's lecture if you have read all the lectures of heart previously. Then only you can understand the wording. Okay. So you are increasing the end diastolic volume. So if you are increasing the end diastolic volume, this will increase the what? It will increase the coupling. You will be having more blood. More blood means you will be putting more end diastolic pressure. You will be increasing the Starling force during the systole because you have more blood inside. So Starling forces will increase. Starling forces will increase. Starling forces will increase. So will you get a sharp increase in the wave because you got a high force? You will get a sharp, sharp. I'm giving you the explanation. You are increasing the volume, that is increasing the contraction. The force of contraction is increasing. The force of contraction. That force of contraction is actually making us steep. If I talk about this descending, let me take this descending limb, okay? You made a graph like this, sir. Sir, you made a graph like this. Then you made a graph like this. So I talked about this. Now I'm talking about this. Now guys, I'm talking about descending of this water hammer pulse. So descending, why steep fall is happening? Why this steep fall is happening? This is the reason we have to explain why steep fall in descending limb is happening. Because again, that same thing I explained, you have a diastolic runoff. The blood is running off into the left ventricle. Suddenly, some person is accompanying you and he suddenly withdraws from you. He is in your company in a match, and what he does is he changes his decision. He is with you, walking with you, but suddenly he goes back. Okay, so this is called runoff. A diastolic runoff happened. And also your peripheral vascular resistance is decreased. That's why the runoff of blood will be in the periphery. So more blood going to the periphery and more flowing coming to the back. That's how a steep fall will happen. So let us take pulsus bisferens. Where was that chart? Where is that chart, guys? I think it's from this side. I have to go to the west, isn't it? East or west, something. Where is that? I lost it. Where is that? Where is that? Ah, here it is. Okay. So this is water hammer pulse. Now, pulsus bisferens is basically dash plus dash, to make easy. anacrotic pulse plus collapsing pulse. Anacrotic pulse plus collapsing pulse is pulses difference. This will be seen in common sense. I hope you know aortic stenosis plus aortic incompetence. Can I say aortic stenosis? A patient having aortic stenosis plus again another disease, that is aortic incompetence. No, can we understand what we are writing from the discussion? We have discussed everything. Now their combo will be giving, if combo disease is giving, then combo pulse. Combo disease, combo pulse. So they tell you one thing, one product, this product is free with this. So definitely features will also come with that. It is not that they will be removing some features. How we will understand? So bis friends means bis. So bis means I have two diseases at the same time. And that means the pulse will also be. Okay, let us take another two and then finish the class. Okay. Pulsus alterans. We had written pulsus alterans. Just write this much. Okay. It's sufficient for you at this physiology moment. Okay. No need to go into disease part. Just take it. Just remember it right now. Okay. Pulsus alterans. Pulsus alterans means let me take pulsus alterans in the end. Let us take first finish from this side. Pulsus paradoxus. But remember, there is nothing paradox in it. There is no paradox in it. It's a misnomer. The name is writing something, but it's not the meaning. Okay. What is happening once you inspire? See, once you inspire, see, listen to me. I inspire. What should happen to the pulse? The pulse decreases in inspiration. What decreases? Amplitude decreases. And once you expire, the expiration, during the expiration, you will have an increase in amplitude. So amplitude of a pulse decreases in inspiration and increases in expiration. So when I do, amplitude should also rise. So how I remember is, I remember like this: decrease, pulse amplitude increases. Okay. I think I am going into metabolic alkalosis, respiratory alkalosis, isn't it? Okay. So this is pulses. This is normal. This is normal. But what happens in pulses paradoxus is the volume of the pulse will decrease. Opposite will happen. Or it can be absent also. What should happen in inspiration? Amplitude decreases. But what happens in pulses paradoxus? It can be absent. It can be the volume of the pulse will decrease. The volume of the pulse will decrease. Are we able to understand? So what happens? Why this happens, sir? See, when I am inspiring, I will give you this, the detail. When I am inspiring, we will write after that. Okay, we will write after that. Just listen first. Once we are inspiring, is the mic audible? I'm keeping the mic more closer to me. So if I am inspiring, intrathoracic pressure will become more negative. If you become more negative intrathoracic pressure, will your pulmonary vasculature get more blood? Will the pooling of blood happen in the pulmonary vasculature? Yes. Will it decrease the venous return to left atrium? See, normally venous return we have read, but I am talking about left atrium. Will it decrease the venous return? Yes, sir, because you are pooling the blood. You are making it to exchange the oxygen. You are exchanging the oxygen. So what will happen? You are decreasing the venous return to the left atrium. You are decreasing, isn't it? And will I say the left atrial filling will decrease? Will the left atrial filling decrease? Beautiful answer. Can I say left ventricular stroke volume decreases? Whatever you give me, I will throw out. That is the principle. On that principle, can I say now, if you have decreased the ventricular stroke volume, can I say I will decrease the pulse volume? Another mechanism I will tell you. You inspired. See, you inspired. What will happen to the pericardial pressure? What will happen to the pressure between the pericardium? Remember, pericardium, interpericardial pressure. It will increase. Very nice. It will increase. When you decrease the venous return to the heart, will it result in the low stroke volume? Can I say in pericardial effusion or any fluid between the interpericardial space, can I say that will decrease this? More decrease will happen because you are not letting it to fill again. Constrictive pericarditis. Okay. Let us write first like this. Okay. Let us write the mechanisms. Mechanisms of this pulsus paradoxus. So what are the causes of pulsus paradoxus? We didn't write that, isn't it? So pulsus paradoxus, let's first write the diseases. Which disease will you see this? You will see it in constrictive pericarditis. Constrictive pericarditis and pericardial effusion. Pericardial effusion. Okay, you have pericardial effusion like this. So you have in the pericardial space, you have more amount of fluid which is decreasing the, no, that will be affecting the volume filling and also the output later on. Okay. So let us write this mechanism of pulsus paradoxus. Let us write in small arrows so that our life becomes easy. Okay. So what is the mechanism is? What happens? Inspiration. What will inspiration do? Once you inspire, intrathoracic pressure will decrease. Intrathoracic pressure will decrease. After that, what will happen? Means it will become more negative. We should write negative. That will be more right answer to write. Okay. What will happen after that? Pooling of, see, this is your lung. I'm making something else. I should make lung like this. So if I make lung like this, you have circulature, isn't it? Vasculature. So this vasculature is getting more blood because you are increasing the, okay. So during inspiration, what you are doing, you are pooling the blood. You are making the intrathoracic pressure more negative. So you are pooling the blood. Pooling the blood. Okay. How do you understand? Pooling in the vascular bed, what will happen? There will be, this is the left atrium and left ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle. What will happen? Will the left atrium get any blood from the lungs? No, sir. Left atrium will not be getting the blood because it is getting pooled. The venous return of the left atrium is decreasing. So left atrial venous return decreases. So left ventricular filling will, left atrial filling will decrease. Left atrial filling will decrease. What will happen after that? That means you will have left ventricular stroke volume will decrease. Why? Because if you are filling less the left atrium, it will fill less the left ventricle, and left ventricle volume will decrease if you are not filling it. And there will be more amount of this in inspiration. So your pulse will decrease in inspiration. Your pulse will decrease in inspiration. But in case of, pericardial effusion or constrictive pericarditis, during inspiration, what will happen? You will have a decrease in the venous return to the heart, and that means you will have a decreased stroke volume because you are not allowing the heart to expand. You are restricting it. You are restricting the expansion. You are restricting the expansion of this. So if you are restricting, that means you won't fill it. If you won't fill it, that means you won't give more. You won't give it, isn't it? So you will be decreasing because chambers are not expanding. Are we clear? Okay. So I hope you have enjoyed this. We'll continue the topics tomorrow. Okay. So see you all. Keep enjoying. Take care. Bye bye.